There's a Zen koan that says, drink down the West River in one gulp. That would be maybe equivalent to, say, eat all the food in the granaries of the United States all at once, or something like that. What does it mean to digest? What does it mean to incorporate within? If you look at the process of eating food and you look at the process of experience, it might seem that there's not much relationship between them. But think about what happens. In order to extract what is nutritive from food, you have to break it down into its molecules. And you do that in various steps, from coarser to finer to finer. If you look at what happens, I mean, the teeth do their thing, and then the tongue does its thing, and the saliva, and then all the different juices and all the different processing stations. Just break the material down finer and finer and finer until it's fine enough so that what has nutritive value can be extracted and accrue to your energy content. And since matter is energy, you can look upon it as you derive energy from the food, either in the form of storing matter or in the form of energy that you use. And then the parts that have no place in your being, by the same process, are excreted. Experience works the same way. If you want to digest the world, drink down the West River, have a complete experience of the moment, in other words, or of the world, because after all, a complete experience of the world is just a sequence of thousands and thousands of complete experiences of the moment. So if you want to have a complete experience of the world, drink down the West River, eat everything that can be eaten, like the god Shiva, then you have to learn how to have a complete experience in the moment, and that's a digestive process. When you are so engaged in any sensory experience that you have a complete experience, there's no time to fixate that experience into a thing. The particles become waves. And so the experience is digested into vibration, undulation, expansion, contraction, flow, the activity of impermanence. And so it can be completely internalized, completely made your own. Moment by moment, if you digest the present, eventually you will drink down the entire world. And you will know that you have as your very content, this is the way Sasaki Roshi talks, you'll have everything as your content. Now, of course, you may not be able to have the kind of dramatic experiences that I'm describing right off the bat, but to whatever extent you bring concentration, clarity, and equanimity to moment-by-moment sensory experience, to that extent you are digesting it. And in the most extreme form, you literally digest it down into its vibratory atoms. And that causes a merging of inside and outside. And that's why you don't just merge with flowers and the sky and the rivers. You also merge with garbage cans and unpleasant people and whatever comes up in front of your eyes. Because you can, if you have really good digestive powers, then it all accrues to nutrition. However, the peristalsis of impermanence doesn't just digest the experiences of the moment. It breaks up the holdings from the past, the doo-doo, the karmic residue that's sort of stuck in the karma colon, you might say. I know, it's a gross metaphor. But actually, maybe not such an inappropriate metaphor, actually. The flow of impermanence, when turned to the outside world, gives you a sense that you're digesting the present moment, acquiring energy, empowerment, richness from it. But when applied to the internal world, as we sit and practice and in daily life, stuff comes up. Our cage gets rattled. The stored pool of poison and pain within gets activated, either due to its own rhythms for no particular reason or because something happens in the outside world that gets to us. This expression, having your cage rattled, I think is a really good expression, okay? Because it is our cage. That holding from the past is the prison. It's our cage. And when an event in the present sort of bangs on it, we get our cage rattled. When we get our cage rattled, it comes up in body experience and mental experience. Primarily emotions, or as I call it, feel activity in the body, and then mental image, internal talk. Sometimes it comes up in a purely physical form in the body. If we bring concentration, clarity, and equanimity to that arising, the more it rattles our cage, the more it seems to go to the depths of our being, then the more will be digested as we bring concentration, clarity, and equanimity to those body and mind volcanoes. And in the extreme case, we actually can digest it or redigest it. It wasn't, the reason it's stuck there is it was never really digested in the first place, so it sticks around. So if when it comes up, either, as I say, from its own rhythms or because it's been triggered by something from the outside, if we have a complete experience of it, we will digest it, release it, and in the most extreme case, the depths of the holdings from the past will turn into vibration, undulation, expansion, contraction, energy. And whatever nutritive value we can recycle from that, we will recycle into the energy of our being. And the rest just gets dissipated. It splashes, ripples, radiates, and releases out of our being. And that's the flow of impermanence as karma digester or purifier.